Hey guys, how's it going? This is Cyber Saloon. So today we're going to be going over Danmachi Season 3, Episode 3, and we're going to touch on Episode 2 briefly. So I'm at university, and I've had midterms the past week and a half, so I wasn't really able to get to review Episode 2, so we'll kind of briefly go over what happened in that one. So kind of the main points of it, we learned that Iklagos, I probably butchered the hell out of that name, is seemingly going to be the main antagonist of this route, and his children, he kind of views it he's kind of like a chaos theory factor. Like you kind of see it when he's talking to Hermes that he doesn't really control his children and he kind of just lets them do whatever. And it seems like Dix is kind of the one who's like the head of his children, and they have like all these monsters in cages and they're planning some spooky shit. And one of the other major points that happened last episode, we see that Ween and Haruhime are playing hide in the most adorable game of hide and seek ever, and uh, Lily kind of fumbles a little bit, so when Wing goes to go hide, Lily basically tells Hestia like, "Hey, we need to go. We need to let Wing go. Like, well, if we let her go outside the city, she'll probably be really safe, but we can't really keep her here anymore. It's going to attract attention. Blah 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 blah." And so Ween hears this. She of course runs away. Like she sees like this girl when she runs away about to be crushed by I forget what it was, but Ween ends up saving her, and then she does so by like extending one of her wings out, and all the people pelt Wayne with rocks, and all those people deserve to be put up against a firing squad. Of course, she gets saved by the end of the day by Belle and everyone, and then so we pick up with this episode, which is you see a bunch of people rioting at the guild hall in Anya. I probably butchered that too. I need to learn how to pronounce the name better. Anya. It's the main advisor that Belle sees. She's kind of calming everyone down. They're screaming about some monster hurt kid in the dungeon. We see the leader of the guild, and he looks kind of similar to her. Like he's got like the elf ears and the green eyes. So he tells Aya to go give Belle like this letter. Like it's a specific quest for Belle and his Hestia family familia. And Aya kind of goes and gives it to Belle. We see kind of a moment where she's kind of sad that like because Belle reads it and she tries to make Belle feel better. She's like, hey, like ask me for advice, and Belle kind of just basically leaves. Um, so after that, like Belle, Lily, and Wealth, and everyone else, they kind of they look over this letter and they kind of suspect it's a trap, and it's kind of odd because it seems like the guild knows that they have Ween, but they don't really do anything about it. So they just tell them to meet them on the 20th floor, and of course they have no idea. They're kind of skeptical to take Ween down there because it's kind of you get a shady letter, like like take this person you care about to like this really hard part of the dungeon. I'd be pretty skeptical too. So after a little bit of discussion, they decide to do it. Belle goes and talks to Ween like, hey, like I want you to come with the dungeon with Wealth, Lily, Mikoto, and Haruhime and I. And she of course agrees to go. And after they go down there, we see that Hestia, there was some like sacred lettering to where only she could read it. That Ouranos has basically requested her presence. I forgot the name of the hooded figure, but they kind of pulled they kind of pulled like the thing where it's like I forgot its name, but like the hooded figure's always been there since season one, and it they whoever it is like reveals the hood, and like Hestia's kind of surprised who it is, so they're kind of pulling the cock tease and like who is it. I thought that was like a small bit annoying because I mean we're gonna find out sooner or later. I wish they kind of revealed it right then, but oh well. So Oranos and Hestia kind of start the talk, and we'll pick up on that a bit more. So Hestia, Mikoto, and all that, not Hestia, sorry, Belle, Mikoto, and all of his party ends up going down to the 20th floor where they're requested to be at, and they start fighting these exceptionally skilled monsters. You can tell they have like really high intelligence, like they're fighting with weapons, and they give Belle and his party a bunch of trouble. They also notice that Mikoto notices, and so does Belle, that when they're in the dungeon, all these monsters are targeting Ween, and this is done on purpose. So especially when they get to the 20th floor, they're really trying to hurt Ween, and you see these monsters are exceptionally skilled. They have weapons, and they're definitely giving them a run for their money. So Bell tries to use one of his spells. It's like one of his top like skills. Kind of, I don't think it's his pure Agronaut skill, but he delivers an extremely powerful strike against the lizard man. You see a bunch of other you see a bunch of oryx, rabbits, and like every other monster under the sun that's kind of like gathered on in this room. And Lily makes a comment earlier that like this is like an unexplored part of the 20th floor, um, which should be like a clear like that they've done a good job of hiding, because there's a lot of floors that are like that's been explored by the Loki Familia and other Familias that so they haven't kind of picked up where this place is either. So after Bell uses that attack, you hear Lid, which is the lizard dude. I thought he was really cool. Kind of start laughing, and then um, he basically tells them that they meet like the expectations. So because the the girl, the monster with the wings, she basically in the last episode she was like she's the one who's like, hey, like you guys. She knows when she's talking to Welf and Bell, she's like, hey, you guys are different. Like you guys will understand, because she kind of used them as like a hope to where adventurers and monsters don't hate each other basically. She's there as well, unsurprisingly, and you see like all these other monsters, like they have a high degree of intelligence, and not just intelligence. They have, they're reasonable. They're not like unreasonably like piss mad like at everyone's. Like they're like really chill, and Lid asks Bell to like shake his hand, and like Bell's think he's gonna be like a happy meal, so he's kind of reluctant to do it. But after he looks at Ween, like he understands like the importance of like making peaceful relations like with this group of monsters, and we learned that they're called Xenos. A little bit on the news there, and then Bell of course shakes Lid's hand, and like all the monsters basically welcome Bell, Lily, Welf, Mikoto, and Haruhime to their little hideaway village that they've had. So after that, we kind of we pick up, and the chick with wings, the she basically tells Ween like no one's gonna try to hurt you here. You're not gonna be prosecuted, and it's kind of like this big happy family of monsters that we know like eventually someone's gonna try to like wreck their shit. So I do expect that in later season. I can kind of see based on like kind of the teaser trailer we get um, earlier. We see that Eyes and Bell are gonna have some confrontation. Of course, Eyes hates monsters. You kind of got to see that in the last season, in the last episode, to where like when she sees the dragon scale, she just gets like pissed, mad. Like she's so I can see why they're gonna come in conflict with that. So after that, we kind of get the Ouranos and Hestius. Hestius, oh god, sorry, Hestia talking. Ouranos and Hestia are talking, and Ouranos is the one who sent that, who gave that guild the message, the head of the guild that message, where they specifically requested that Hestia's family do it. And the reason he did this is that he says that they don't know when like this happened, but they've seen a higher volume of like monsters developing intelligence, and that that Hestia's party when they took Ween gave him hope that like they were the ones to do this, and rightfully so, because Ouranos basically tells Hestia that this could be the bridge between monsters and humans, because they've always killed each other for like a long time, and that these monsters that are developing intelligence in Hestia's party could be the beginning of kind of like a bridge of like a better a better system, or better like a hope, I guess, that conflict doesn't need to rise. But I'm not quite sure about this, because that's kind of the whole point of the dungeon, is they're supposed to kind of go further and further down. So I'm not sure like what he kind of means by that. I mean, I know that there's certain monsters that do develop intelligence and that are reasonable, that you wouldn't like could be your friend, but the whole point, it makes you kind of question the whole point of the dungeon and why it's really there, because it's supposed to be to kind of like obtain like fame and glory, and like and complete the dungeon. But so if you had like a complete bridge between like monsters and humans, like what would be the point of the dungeon? I guess just to kill the bad ones. I guess that makes sense. So that's where kind of it leaves off. Gosh, I'm so bad. Sorry. Kind of where it leaves off. My expectations, I kind of see some houses, specifically, I guess, well, certain members within certain houses. Like, Eyes is certainly probably not going to want to accept this initially. I don't know when that moment's going to come. Um, Eklos, seemingly the main protagonist, is probably trying to. It seems that like the intelligent monsters kind of have something to where they can use it for shady shit. just because you see them collecting them all, so I'm not entirely sure what their goal is still. We see that there's a moment in the episode where Dix tells like the rest of his familia that you should be on the lookout for Hestia familia. So I imagine the next episode you'll probably see Dix and the rest of the children of Eklos. Sorry again if I butcher that name. Probably end up where that village is and probably try to kill a bunch of them or capture a bunch of them. Overall, I thought the episode was really good. I can't wait for the next one. I'm excited for the conflicts, of course, later between certain members of certain houses, especially for Eyes and Bell, just because they're such good friends. Um, and I hope it's not one of those things where like it lasts like 5 minutes. Like I hope it's like an actual point of contention for them for at least an episode. Like, but I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Overall, I thought the episode was really good. Also, since I didn't review episode 2, I love the OP and I love the outro as well. I think they're really good. No surprise that JC Staff chooses to focus on Hestia more than any other character, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Alright, guys, well, tell me what you thought of the episode below. What do you think of the intelligent monsters, aka the Xenos? What do you think of Ween? And what do you think the series is going to go from here? Alright, guys, thanks so much, and have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.